have a PowerPoint?
Oh, in theory, sure.
Want me to stop the recording? You can start it when you're ready.
Sorry? I hate that I always turn red. When he's in my head, that's okay, I did tell him that horrible pause. Completely lost. Now you did look better.
Well, I make you two look good. That's for sure.
I always turn red, like red, like this.
I'm hungry. It's time for breakfast.
It's going like that. No way.
You can take your mask off if you'd like.
You also need to show your notes and ID.
ID. No cards. Alright. $686.1 billion. That was the budget.
You need to point directly at.
Oh, there you go. It was off. Alright, let me start over. $686.1 billion. That was the budget for the Department of Defense in 2019. That's a lot of money. That source is from the DoD press release talking about the budget. So basically, my speech today will be trying to persuade that we should reduce this budget. It should not be near that much money. So, to start off, in 2019, the budget was divided in several matters, but one that I found pretty egregious was this. Basically, 25.6 billion was spent on planes and jets, fighter jets alone. Pretty egregious. And that was via the budget overview, which I recommend taking a look at. It's a very interesting read for sure. Also, the budget was spent on weapons, defense systems, missiles, so homeland defense, basically. Millions of dollars went into that alone. The budget would be divided between several things. As mentioned, planes, missiles, ships, car, vehicles, weapons, all that. But there are other things. Manufacturing, as, for example, vests, helmets, combat gear that will be used on the ground overseas or even here in the United States for training. You need to train, you need to get your muscles all nice and strong to be able to go into the military. That's also where the budget goes. Basic training is, even though it may look pretty simple, it's just an obstacle course. It's much harder than that, and it's much more expensive. It takes thousands of dollars pretty much just to be able to get through that and be able to wear a vest and helmet in combat. Also, as you know, we live in Rock Island, the arsenal. That right there is probably upwards of $1 million of weapons, manufacturing, employees. That money doesn't just go to the manufacturing, it doesn't just go to the building of ships, it doesn't just go. It goes to paying salaries, healthcare, taxes, all of that. Speaking of, that's right, the budget doesn't just come out of thin air. It comes from taxes paid by you and me. That comes from the Scientific American, by the way. So basically, that's the end of that. The Pentagon has used these taxes to beef up the budget. America has one of, if not the biggest, military budgets in the world. But sometimes that budget, it goes to waste. Literally, it gets tossed in the garbage because something they could be working on doesn't go right. Once again, according to the Scientific American, the Pentagon, in the first decade of the 2000s era of the 21st century, the Pentagon wasted $46 billion in failed projects and failed research. That's a lot of money that could be put to better causes, to better schools, better roads. I mean, we all know the roads up here suck, right? So that 46 billion could have gone to fill in those potholes properly instead of just throwing some gravel in there and making it a bit worse, in my opinion. So in theory, less budget, less tax as well. Everyone hates taxes, so I'd be happy to not have to spend more to beef up military things that could just get thrown into the trash. So, and also, one fun fact I found, the DoD, the Department of Defense, is one of the world's biggest polluters. Because of all the factories producing, like the Rock Island Arsenal here in the Quad Cities, and tons of factories across the nation, and sometimes even overseas, it causes pollutants that go into air, and of course, global warming and stuff like that. It's one of the biggest polluters. I did not know that until researching this. So, basically today I went over where the budget goes, resources it provides, and the cost on the public. So, once again, in conclusion, we need to reduce the budget. In my eyes, it's egregious, and I'm not saying completely eliminate it. I'm saying reduce it to where it's a bit more economic, where it can be used properly. Basically, try and see if there's a way to find out how much goes where and reduce that. Right now we're in what could possibly be one of those rare times of world peace, even though it doesn't really seem like it. It's nowhere near as bad as it was in the 40s when everyone, it's called World War for a reason. Also, one last thing, like I said, definitely recommend taking a look at the budget overview. You can find it very easily, and it's a great read. So, thank you. And do you want me to?
Yeah, you just leave that there.
Where did you find this? My dad actually found it.